A squad-sized Russian unit is seen infiltrating a Ukrainian trench system. They all hop in one by one, but they come under fire by the two last remaining Ukrainian fighters in that trench system. At one point, the Russian fighters are only a few meters away from the Ukrainian fighters. They have to back away. The Ukrainian soldier is standing his ground till the very end, it looks like. Now we can see the second Ukrainian fighter who retreats back the trench system while the first heroic Ukrainian soldier holds the Russians back. The distance is close enough for grenades, so the first two Russian soldiers start throwing some. But the last Ukrainian fighter picks it up and throws it back just a second before it explodes. He then picks up another grenade and throws it back before it explodes, but then there is an explosion in his trench. He is no more. This was the last stand of a lone Ukrainian fighter who sacrificed himself so that his comrades could escape. Let us take a look at the front lines. Russians have concentrated their whole attacking potential behind one final goal, taking the Severodonetsk city, with which they would have occupied 100% of the Luhansk Oblast. This is obviously a political goal, a goal set by Putin himself, not the generals on the ground, taking part of the battles. This is the difference between a Russian and a Ukrainian army. Russian army's orders come directly from Moscow and they are politically motivated, while Ukrainian army takes into consideration the situation in the battlefield, and that's how the orders are formed. The Russian generals have to take this city with any means necessary because the Tsar has spoken. The Russians actually yesterday took the Mirror Hotel and the bus station of the Severodonetsk city. This would have been their bridgehead into the city, but Ukrainians counterattacked and beat them back. But I think in a few days Russians will penetrate the city borders and perhaps make the Ukrainians retreat from the city. But the cost of this push is so high for the Russians that it will be their final major push of this war. See, for the Ukrainian army, the main goal is to keep troops alive and exhaust the enemy. For the Russian army, the main goal is to fulfill Putler's orders, to take the city with any means necessary, and this means very high losses. My friends, it is time to thank the Patreons. These people are supporting the channel, keeping it afloat even if YouTube decides to demonetize these war videos. Thank you to these people. I'll be naming their names with my Estonian pronunciation. Knock 'em out cold, my friends. Jon Gui 2015, Mario Pereira, Radav 49, Ikeman, Iceman. Well, I just watched Top Gun with Tom Cruise. I really liked the movie. I like that kind of movies. And there was the Admiral Iceman. Karret and Tammi Laumann, both of you, thank you. Jason Holmes, Ali Taheri, Steve Dietz, Denis Zayets. Zayets in Russia, I think it means a bunny or a rabbit. I remember there was a cartoon, Nu Bagadi. There was a wolf chasing a zayets, a rabbit. Jochen Rebeska, Sakred Conor Koffe Ko. Jochen James Sullivan. Thank you to all of these people. You guys have helped me a lot. Thank you. If you like the channel, the Patreon link is in the description below. Also, Knock 'em Out Cold is in the description below. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky visited Kharkiv yesterday. This is a huge deal because Kharkiv sits only mere 25 kilometers off the closest front lines, putting it in range of Russia's long-range artillery and missile fire. Missiles actually landed in Kharkiv while Zelensky was in the city. Zelensky takes a risk. This could be his last visit to any place. He could be killed in this visit. He's still doing it. He leads by example. He was there to award medals to the Ukrainian heroes, medals of bravery. Could you imagine Putler visiting his troops in the front lines? Russians are stealing on a state level. In this video we can see Russians loading sheets of steel from Azovstal. Stal actually means steel in Russia, so Stalin is man of steel. Azovstal is the factory of steel of Azov Sea. They're loading it onto the ships to take it back to Russia. Stealing steel on a state level. They're also doing the same thing with Ukrainian grain, because Ukraine is a huge grain exporter. It's one of their biggest export articles actually, and Russia is taking as much as it can. And also home electronics. This is a deficit commodity in Russia. Washing machines, toilets, blenders, toasters, and a PS4. A Russian who stole a PS4 in Mariupol is now writing the owner of the PS4 to demand the password to get access to the games. I stole your PS4, now you give me password. You give me password. No. Sad Russian noises. Believe it or not, a PS4 in Russia right now is crazy luxury. Theft was an official state way of life in the USSR, and unfortunately it still is a way of life in Russia now. My friends, let us admire the precise work of the 45th Separate Artillery Brigade of the Ukrainian army. They're hitting Russian positions, right? There are 3 KAMAZ trucks in 3 different locations. KAMAZ is one of the main Russian trucks that they use for logistics of the army. Shells are landing right next to them, knocking all of these trucks out. I mean, the drone above must be giving ultra-precise coordinates to the artillery teams. Then we got a Russian Lada coming in. 3 orcs are walking out. The Lada gets blown to bits. Then there's a hit on a house, an orc runs out, and boom, he gets a direct hit. He is knocked out cold. This all happened in Guliaipol, in Zaporozhye, in southern Ukraine. This is Riga, the capital of Latvia. There's an old man walking with a Russian flag. Riga is 3 hours of drive from where I live, Tartu. It's close. And we get these old Russian people in Estonia also who feed from Putin's propaganda. Now I'm very pleased to see what happens to him. The flag is ripped from his hands and the dude walks away with it. You don't get away with this in the Baltics anymore. You don't get away with this in Poland or anywhere. 5 months ago, you could have gone away with it. Not after the war. Next video is from Kazakhstan. There are 3 young men stopping a car that has a Soviet Union flag on it. And Kazakhstan is supposed to be Russia's ally. Note how the cameraman is violently asking for documents. This goes back to the Stalin era of the Soviet Union, because asking documents from someone could have meant that you were in Beria's list to Siberia. And it is still used as a weapon of intimidation. Where are your documents? Putting you, the asker, higher. You know, you're working for the state maybe, the NKVD. Nobody asks your documents like that in Estonia anymore, but they still do that in Kazakhstan and Russia. I wonder why neighboring countries of Russia have such a strong, growing anti-Russian sentiment. I can't put my finger on it. In this video we can see a Russian TOS-1 Buratino Thermobaric blasts. These munitions are also known as vacuum bombs, vacuum munitions. Note the shock waves. TOS-1 actually has 2-stage thermobaric munitions. First stage creates a cloud of flammables and metals in the air of the explosion, and the second stage ignites the air, burning all the oxygen inside of that cloud, making almost like a vacuum space of the explosion area. And the shock wave from that is so big it can vaporize human bodies. This is a weapon of terror, and Russia has a lot of them. My friends, I feel covering this war is getting to me, to my head. If you have followed me for a long time, you know that I just came out of depression before this war started. I came off the pill in January, antidepressants I mean, and I can feel the effects of covering this war getting to me. I mean, watching people burn alive is not the best occupation as a job. And I do feel guilty when I want to take a break and I haven't been able to because of myself. I say to myself, Ukrainians cannot rest, so you mustn't rest. But I'm telling you now, I think I have to take a break. I'm reaching burnout, mentally. And what use am I if I cannot make videos at all? I have to take a break. I want to thank you all for watching. Thank you for supporting Ukraine, and thank you for supporting this channel. Thank you for being patrons and getting the Knock Them Out Cold merch. I really appreciate you being there. I do, from the bottom of my heart. I enjoy this job, but I will take care of my mental health for a few weeks. I hope you understand. Thank you again for being there. And until my next video, Slava Ukraini, my friends. Stay cool and bye-bye.